it's changed quite significantly in the last 12 months. So it depends on what level of the market you look at. So people generally enter the market might spend a couple of years in their first job and then potentially another 2 or 3 years in the second job. And at the last 5 or 6 or 7 years at the senior end of the market, there hasn't been that much movement. That's probably been down to the fact that because the economy hasn't been as strong, there's been more limited opportunities at that strategic level. But as the economy started to recover and there's more investment gone into public services as well, there's been a creation of new roles, a combination of factors of that they need strategic decision makers for the first time within the public service, but also then the investment from the US multinationals and the new jobs created by those organisations. So whilst people might have spent a long time in those roles before, we're now starting to see more movement at the senior level, not as frequently at the junior mid-level of the market, but it's starting to become more frequent. It's slightly different in terms of demographic to other sectors as there'd be a large contract workforce within IT that work on a project basis. So those people might be in roles for 6 or 12 months, and they vary from sort of the junior level through to the senior level, depending on the nature of the projects they're working on. That job for life mentality doesn't really exist in the modern world. Generally 2 to 3 years would be a good duration for somebody to remain within their role, whether that be moving on within the organisation that they're currently in or looking at an alternative organisation to work within. For example, the large IT consulting firms, they'll bring people in graduate level and they will move them around the organisation as they grow and develop to give them different experiences. So if you're in a multinational, you can have lots of different jobs, maybe over quite a long period of time, lots of different experiences that keep you engaged, and I'm talking people like Deloitte or Accenture or that type of organisation, and Microsoft, where they have the ability to do that, in IBM. An SME, particularly a startup type environment, you might not want somebody there, and strategically you might not want somebody for the longevity, and the individuals don't want to be there for longevity. It's coming in for that first couple of years, the excitement of that startup environment, the learning of new skills, having to be a jack of all trades, turning their hand to anything. So different organisations are looking for different types of people, and longevity and retention is not always an indication of a good work environment to be within. It's just a factor of, it's a consideration of many different factors. If the money is about right, then it's not an issue for the employee. So if you're underpaying somebody, then there's a risk that you're going to lose that employee. But if the money's right, there were 3 key factors that people were considering when it came to either staying in their current job or moving to a new job. The first one was in relation to benefits, and when I talk about benefits, it's not just the benefits worth money like pension, etc., etc., etc. It's things like work-life balance. The flexible, being able to start a little bit late if you're dropping the kids off, or finish a bit early because you got a tag rugby match. That carries a lot of weight these days, in the modern world. That ability, sometimes to work from home, etc., etc. So that was the first key consideration. The second was around career progression, having the option to progress and learn new skills. So if you're in an organisation where you don't have the opportunity, you've either topped out or you don't have the opportunity to progress because there's just not that type of business, they need people to perform a specific function, then that would be the second reason why people might leave. And then the third is around training and personal development. So that people are being invested in, particularly in IT. So is the organisation you're working for working on legacy systems, or are they moving to newer technologies? If they're moving to newer technologies, are they investing in the individuals in order to make sure that they have the capabilities and skills to work with those technologies? So those are sort of the 3 core things that make either people stay or make people leave.